What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and today I'm going to take you through all the bets that I'm running on Game 1 of the NBA Finals between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. If it's your first time checking out the channel, I encourage you to subscribe because I'm dropping heat just like this every single day. Now, a few days ago, I dropped my full preview of this game. You can check it out up here or up here. I don't know where it's going to be, but you can check that out. It's a pretty long video, but I go through all the players. We talk about their matchups, form lines, all that type of stuff. This video, a little bit different. I've already made my decisions, and it's up to you whether you choose to ride with me. So we'll jump into outline. I'll take you through it. Let's go. So the first bet I wanted to share with you is not actually a player prop. Believe it or not, I'm betting over on the total. Over 214.5 points. Now, why? It is game one, and these teams don't get to see each other that often, only twice in the regular season. They played a lot of games since they last played, and we've seen it so far in this playoffs. A lot of game ones tend to be going over. Defense, I expect, will tighten up. We're going to have some gritty and grindy games, but I don't think we see that in game one. We saw the Boston Celtics, a lot of their games throughout these playoffs were pretty high scoring, I'm going to tell you. The defense, not extremely locked in at the moment. The Indiana Pacers series was nuts. Everything was going over by the looks of it. And this Dallas Mavericks team, slow starters, but they can get buckets in bunches. Both of their scoring styles in both teams, they kind of complement the defense on the other side. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get stops, but I don't think there'll be too many in game one. I do like the over 214.5 points, and the points total will settle down as the series progresses. But that's my very first play. Jumping into the player props. So the very first one I looked at, I'm taking a bet on Luka Doncic. I just wasn't sure which one to take because I did like a lot of his lines. What I did ultimately decide on was this. I'm taking Luka over 40.5 points plus rebounds. Now, looking at his last 10 games, he's only covered this 4 times. 4 out of his last 10, 39.6 points and rebounds as an average. Has had some more difficult series. OKC obviously did a good job slowing him down, getting the ball out of his hands, but he was also hampered by an injury. Minnesota, they did a good job keeping him off the glass for the most part till late in that series. Scoring wise, he was pretty much scoring whenever he wanted. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they backed themselves to defend him 1-on-1, and their defense, very similar to the Boston Celtics. They do switch a lot, switch heavy defense. They'll allow Luka to play a lot of 1-on-1s. They've got great defensive guards who are too small. Jason Tatum has length, but he's not strong enough. Jaylen Brown, a bit stronger than Tatum, but doesn't have the same length. Luka Doncic, there is nobody on this Boston Celtics team who can defend him, and I doubt they throw too many doubles to start the series. I think they play him straight up and Luka cooks. So I do like the over in his points prop, but I also love the over in his rebound prop. So let's look at his rebounds real quick. 9.5 is the line for Luka. This was at 8.5 4 days ago when I last recorded the video, but you can see the form's great. He's covered this line in 8 out of his last 10 games, averaging 10.5 rebounds. If you think about who Luke is going to be defending in this game, he's most likely going to be sitting on the weak side. He's not going to spend too much time on Tatum, not too much time on Brown. Derek Jones Jr. and PJ Washington most likely to pick up those assignments. So he might find himself on a bit of Porzingis, Derek White perhaps sitting in the corner. If Al Horford's on, I assume Luka Doncic's going to be the man defending him. So Luka's going to be pretty chilled on the defensive side of things. A lot of weak side rebounds. Porzingis, Horford, they do stretch the floor though. So Gafford or Lively, if they are defending them, I imagine that pulls them out of the paint, which forces somebody else like a PJ Washington or a Luka Doncic to get those boards. I've made these types of assumptions in past series, and it's always been Luka, believe it or not. So I do like Luka's rebounds as well. But for this video, the 40.5 rebounds is what I like. Now, if we take a look how he's going against the Celtics, in his last 4 games, he's covered this in 3 out of the 4, averaging 45.5 rebounds and points against the Boston Celtics. He did play them twice this year, and what did he do? 33 points, 18 rebounds in the first game. That was a close game. Boston won that one by 9. The second game, 37 points, 12 rebounds, and that was a blowout loss. Dallas lost that game by 28 points. He still played 36 minutes. He should get over 40 minutes in this game, so he'll get even more opportunity. I doubt that the Boston Celtics blow the Dallas Mavericks out either. So if it is closer, more rebound chances for Luka Doncic as well. I think it absolutely obliterates this line. So that's the very first play that I do like. Now, if you thought that was a good bet and you like Luka Doncic, then I got the play for you. You all know that I'm getting famous for these BAPs, which is a bitch-ass parlay where I take a lot of my favorite plays and I reduce those lines down. Well, the great thing is Chalkboard is doing that for you. So for this upcoming game, they've got a promo at the moment. They're going to be reducing Luka's points line from 31.5. They're going to cut that line all the way down depending on how many shares they get. They're currently still running, but I imagine whatever line Luka Doncic is set for points, he's going to cash it with ease. You can call it a free square if you want to. So I'm going to build a BAP on Chalkboard. I encourage you guys to check it out. I'll pop it up on the screen right now. So what I've done is I've taken a lot of the players that I do like. I reduced their lines down a little bit. PJ Washington, Luka Doncic, and Jason Tatum. You can get these four, add them to the free, not the free, but the reduced and cut Luka Doncic square, put them all together, and there's your BAP. It's your bitch-ass parlay. Take that entry and use Chalkboard. Speaking of Chalkboard, sign up to Chalkboard today. Use the code DAFT or the video link below. I do get a small kickback. I ain't gonna lie. That's going to get me out of the hood. But check out Chalkboard if you haven't already. Another incentive for you to get Chalkboard if you don't want to take the parlay or you don't want to take the Luka square. How about this? You know that I have a VIP where I share every single bet that I take, from same game parlays to high value singles to every single BAP, all the other sports, my AI tools and all that type of stuff. What I'm also willing to do is if you do sign up with Chalkboard and you use the code DAFT, make your first deposit. You get 100% deposit match as well. Send me a screenshot either in Discord or Instagram or wherever you can find me. If you see me up on the street, you can show me, but it's going to be difficult for you. But send me some proof that you have signed up to Chalkboard using my code, and then I'll give you free VIP access for a month. How about that? Let's go! All right, the next play that I want to share with you all that I took nice and early this week is for another European man, and I'm talking about Kristaps Porzingis. And what I'm playing is this. I'm taking his first quarter points prop at over 3.5 points. That's just such a delicious number. For those of you who have been tailing my videos for quite some time, Kristaps in the first quarter is one of my favorite things. Normally, his line would sit at about 6.5. Coming back off an injury, it's been reduced all the way down to 3.5. He's not on the injury report. He's not a game time decision. He is good to go. And even if there is a minutes restriction, it's not going to impact what he does in the first quarter. So Kristaps normally plays 7-8 minutes in the first quarter anyway. I do look to feed him early and often. So let's check out the numbers. In his last 10 games that he's played, Kristaps covers a 3.5 with ease. 7 out of his last 10, averaging 5.7. If you want to check the regular season stats, he played 61 games this season. He's covered 3.5 in 80% of those games. 49 out of 61, averaging 6.85 per game in the first quarter. Over the season, 9.7 minutes played as an average. And he might not get that tonight. He might get 6 to 7, 7 to 8. But we only need 2 buckets here. They could be layups, free throws. Take a 3-pointer if you really want to, Kristaps. But 2 buckets is all you need to cash this bet. And on top of that, if we look at the head-to-head form, we played Dallas once this season. Kristaps, 13 points in 10 minutes in the first quarter. After that, if that's not a banger, then I don't know what is. So that's the second play that I'm taking. I took both of these plays nice and early. I did share those on Winnable, so feel free to check out my Winnable. I post a lot of my early plays, and it's where you can get access to the VIP. The next and my final play I wanted to share with you all. Didn't want to go too crazy on this slate. I'm looking at the old man, Al Horford. Now, Al Horford and I were born at a very similar time. So when I say he's old as shit, because my joints are sore and I don't even play sports right now. But I'm talking about Al Horford. I want to take him over 6.5 points. Now, I've seen we'll take Al Horford for over 6.5 points, and that's because they're saying, over his recent games, he's been averaging 10, which is stupid, right? That's not why you bet Al Horford in this game. If you've been watching basketball, you'd know that Kristaps Porzingis has been out, so Al Horford has been getting a lot more minutes. And I know that, so that's not why I'm taking this bet on Al Horford. The reality is, in the playoffs, and the way this Boston team is constructed, they're probably going to go 7 players deep for the majority of this game, which means Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, probably the only players off the bench who can expect a run. You might see Sam Hauser, but in the NBA Finals, you probably won't. So 7-man rotation I expect to see from Boston. Porzingis, he's back, but I don't see him playing 30 to 35 minutes in his first game. So Al Horford should still get a good run. Now, I looked at Al Horford's numbers with Kristaps. So this is Al Horford's last 10 games with Kristaps Porzingis in the lineup. He's covered this in 8 of his last 10, averaging 9.3 points per game with Kristaps in the lineup. He's also played the Dallas Mavericks with Kristaps in the lineup. In that game, Al Horford scored 12 points in 27 minutes. On top of that, if we think about how Al Horford scores, he scores a lot of his points doing what? Spot up shooting, baby. And as great as Dallas has been defensively throughout this playoffs, spot up shooting has been one of their weaker points defensively. They're allowing a lot of shots wide open above the break. They're allowing them in the corners. And that's what Al Horford likes to live. Al Horford, I like him to hit a couple of three-pointers, maybe a free throw if he gets down inside. But the 6.5, give me that. If you think the 6.5 is a little bit too high, that's what chalkboard's for. You can take that down to 5.5. That's only 2 3-pointers for Al Horford. And you know, if his shots are going to be taken from deep, the Dallas Mavericks are going to have their hands full with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, bit of Porzingis. If Derek White gets hot, they're in trouble. So they're going to be looking to focus all their attention on those guys. The person they're going to care the least about out of every player who's going to get some expected time in this game for Boston is Al Horford. They're not going to leave Peyton Pritchard wide open either. Al Horford's that guy. He's the least threatening guy in the NBA right now. And I think they leave him wide open, and I think he punishes them a little bit for it. I feel like Al Horford over 6.5 points. Let me know in the comment section if you choose to ride with me. If you made it this far to the video, I ask you to type in VIP in the comment section to let me know that you made it this far and that you are a very important person. So I encourage you guys, don't blindly follow my picks. Do your own research. You can use Outline for that. 7-day free trial in the video description below. If you want to see the full in-depth preview, I'll put the card back up, or I'll put it at the end of this video, and you can jump into the preview that I did earlier in the week. Best of luck. It's going to be a great game. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.